You enter a busy place feeling completely normal. People cross in front of you from several directions. Signs, windows, patterned floors, bright displays, passing traffic, and constantly changing movement fill your vision. You turn your head to find where you are going, while trying not to bump into anyone. Suddenly, you feel strange. Not necessarily as if the room is spinning, but perhaps unsteady, light, disconnected, or as if your body is moving slightly after you have stopped. Why can an ordinary crowd make balance suddenly feel more difficult? The answer begins with something easy to forget. Balance is not produced by one organ. It is an interpretation created by the brain. To keep you oriented, the nervous system continually combines several kinds of information. Your inner ears detect head rotation and acceleration. Sensory signals from your feet, joints, and muscles describe contact with the ground and the position of your body. And vision describes how the environment is moving around you. Most of the time, these sources agree so well that you never notice the calculation. But a busy environment can make the visual part unusually loud. As you walk forward, the image of the world flows across your retinas. Objects near you move across your vision faster than objects farther away. The scene appears to expand outward from the direction in which you are traveling. This pattern, called optic flow, gives the brain useful information about speed, direction, and self-movement. Now place that system in a crowded shopping center, station, market, or busy street. Add nearby people, repeated patterns, overhead signs, reflections, large screens, traffic, escalators, and constant turns of the eyes and head. The visual flow becomes dense, fast, and difficult to organize. Your eyes may report a great deal of motion, even though the floor beneath you is stable. Your inner ears report each head turn. Your feet report that you are upright. The signals are not necessarily broken, but they can become harder to combine. You can experience a mild version of this visual trick while sitting on a stationary train. If the train beside you begins moving, you may briefly feel that your own train has started to move. Large cinema screens and virtual reality can create something similar. Vision can generate a convincing sensation of self-motion even when the body has barely moved. Normally, the brain resolves that ambiguity quickly. It does this partly through sensory reweighting, changing how much trust it places in each source of information. On a firm floor and good lighting, vision, the inner ears, and body sensation can all contribute. In darkness, vision becomes less useful, so the brain gives greater weight to the other signals. On an unstable surface, information from the feet may become less reliable, so vision and the vestibular system become more important. This flexibility is essential. But people do not all weight these signals in exactly the same way. Some are naturally more influenced by vision, and after a vestibular illness, migraine, concussion, or another episode of dizziness, a person may begin relying more heavily on visual information to remain oriented. In a quiet room, that extra reliance on vision can work well. In a busy place, the same strategy can become a problem. If vision has been given more authority, a wall of moving and patterned information can pull the brain's estimate of motion in too many directions. Researchers call this kind of symptom pattern visually induced dizziness. It can include unsteadiness, swaying, nausea, difficulty focusing, disorientation, or a feeling that the surroundings are moving. Some people become cautious and stiffen their posture. Others feel mentally exhausted because orientation, walking, searching the environment, and filtering distractions are all demanding attention at once. This is not simply weak eyesight, and it is not proof that the inner ear is damaged. It is also not imaginary. The problem can lie in how real sensory information is selected, weighted, and interpreted. Stress can become part of the experience without being its entire explanation. Feeling unexpectedly unsteady is alarming. Attention turns inward. Am I starting to sway? Will it become worse? That vigilance can make every sensation more noticeable. The body becomes guarded, movement becomes less natural, and the environment feels even harder to process. So anxiety may amplify the loop, but that does not mean the original sensation was invented by anxiety. It is equally important not to treat dizziness in busy places as one diagnosis. Visually busy environments can bother otherwise healthy people, particularly when they are tired, unwell, or already sensitive to motion. More persistent symptoms may appear with vestibular migraine, after an inner ear disorder or concussion, and in a condition called persistent postural perceptual dizziness, or PPPD. PPPD is not diagnosed because somebody felt dizzy once in a crowd. Its formal criteria include dizziness, unsteadiness, or non-spinning vertigo on most days for at least 3 months, made worse by upright posture, movement, and complex visual stimulation. Other possible causes also have to be considered. That distinction matters because treatment depends on what is producing the symptoms. When appropriate, vestibular rehabilitation may use gaze stability exercises, balance tasks, walking with head movements, and carefully graded exposure to moving visual patterns. The goal is not to overwhelm someone until they get used to it. It is to give the nervous system a manageable challenge so it can improve how it uses and combines sensory information. The exercise has to match the person. A generic eye exercise is not a substitute for evaluating persistent dizziness, and complete avoidance is not always the best long-term answer either. In the moment, some people find it easier to slow down, pause near a stable visual reference, reduce rapid scanning, or use a railing or other stable support when one is available. These strategies do not explain or cure the cause, but they can reduce the immediate sensory demand. New or recurring dizziness deserves medical assessment, especially when it interferes with walking or daily life. Sudden dizziness, accompanied by weakness, numbness, difficulty speaking, double vision, a severe, unusual headache, or a sudden inability to walk requires urgent medical attention. So the next time a busy place seems strangely unstable, remember, the ground may not be moving, but your brain is processing an enormous amount of motion. Balance is not a camera recording the world. It is a continuously updated decision about where you are, what is moving, and which signals deserve the most trust. And sometimes, in the middle of a moving crowd, vision becomes the loudest voice in the room.